All right. We live? Bet that up. Welcome to Guaranteed News on a Monday. My name is Garrett Sims, of course, your host. It is June 10th, 2024, and we have a great episode of Guaranteed News for you today, this Monday. Like I say, Guaranteed News every week. I try to cover hard news, but that's news that's important, world news, country news in America, state news, anything that I feel like it's important that I think you guys should know that's serious. We do movie and show news that's going to keep up with all the newest shows, movies. I'm just basically giving my opinion. We do, what else? Sports news, which is obvious, and entertainment news, which I haven't been keeping a big eye on like the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times I've streamed, but I have something entertaining that I want to talk about today. So Guaranteed News, we're going to get into the Hunter Biden defense today. We're going to get into the Trump rally in Nevada yesterday on Sunday, where it's hot as hell, and he said a couple of crazy ass things. Updates in the Hamas-Israel war and a potential ceasefire or the hope for one. We're going to get into the Caitlin Clark left out of the Olympic snub, or is it a snub? Dan Hurley turning down the Lakers job, a new Diddy documentary on Hulu, some other things, and we're going to call it a day. But before we get to the news, we're going to do what we usually do with Guaranteed News, and that is, play a couple K-Ferg 500 songs, and then we'll get to the show. Today I'm feeling Backslide Interlude. Let's get to it. Hold on. Before we get to it, we have to watch the ad. All right, now let's get to it.
Big bank take, little bank, let me cash out. Dick bitch came with me too with her ass out. Draco shoot way too hard, made me backslide. I was in the field for real, catching pop flies. This real chicken nigga, we ain't fucking with Popeyes. We like mob guys, FDL nigga got mob ties. Finna put them pointers on my wrist, they gon' be sick as hell. Send my op to the hospital, I hope he getting well. Bitch wanna do me bad, okay, I give her hell. Came with a Mac, make that bitch sing like it's a deal. I don't even know why you talking like you know something. If a nigga move too fast, I'm gon' blow something. I told my plug, bring me the bowls, cause I'm a dope runner. If I don't drop in June, it's gonna be a cold summer. I be dropping hop shit every time I touch the mic. She ain't coming when you fucking, you ain't stuff it right. If you can't stretch it to a pint, then you ain't cut it right. Nah, I ain't Tupac, but I'm thug for life. Bitch try to do me wrong, she was bugging right. I get high every day, bitch, I love my life. If you ain't dripping like me, you ain't coming right. Nigga ain't good in his hood, he can't come at night. I just sparked some runs, now I'm high as a satellite. Big bank take, little bank, let me cash out. Dick bitch came with me too with her ass out. Draco shoot way too hard, made me backslide. I was in the field for real, catching pop flies. This real chicken nigga, we ain't fucking with Popeyes. We like mob guys, FDL nigga got mob ties. Finna put them pointers on my wrist, they gon' be sick as hell.
Alright, let's see. I haven't even decided what I want to play for the second song. Fuck it, let's just go with SoFi. This is SoFi by K-Ferg 500.
That's probably why she penny pinching. Nigga, I could die right now, yo bitch gon' treat you like Will Smith. Nigga, I ain't worried about none of my white boys shoot like Rick Smith. I'm fresh as it gets and your little bitch won't peel me out this Rick spit. God forgive me, know they truly filled with envy, I don't blame. Need a halftime show like Usher Raymond. I'm on half of a cup with a watch chaser. I can't even stand these niggas, I wouldn't tell no lie. I'm tryna get high, I'm finna pour this deuce when I get in so far. Yeah. AFW ain't fucking with me. I'm so popped I can pop a wheel. Niggas fan do bumps tryna hit a ticket. My price can't drop the ticket. Yo bitch, our bitch, these boxes trick. Her pops was missing, and now she tryna get her a man, but she can't even keep her a nigga. Baby, I'm winning. I'm out there out with my niggas, and we on the route to the millions. She choosing niggas that got a little motion, cause she know I don't do shit for attention. Spend a little money and break her the last name the nigga gon' ever mention. Honestly, I had love for her, but I love Lil' Keisha more. How the walk be giving me growth. I know a little bitch so bad I get geek whenever she posts. Yeah. If he can handle a more, I told him we up in the scope. Yeah, I told him we done when I say it. Baddest ones be in and out the club. I wonder who gon' say. Got my girl in the store and she done spent like 2K. She passed out 20 francs with capital jeans. My pants from Shibuya. You know I can't do nothing basic. Show these niggas how to run it up. This my little course, my demonstration. Make your move and once you make your move, don't move with
The future is threatened by enemies often unpredictable.
Outside with the crooks and robbers.
When When there are battles to win for America's future.
My shit in designer. Bitch, we don't need no AP, cause all our shit is.
My bad, y'all. I'm gonna spin that back a little bit.
That's probably why she penny pinch. I got OG still on Colin. Call me if you got a problem. I pop my shit in designer. Bitch, we don't need no AP, cause all our shit is perfect timing. Bitch ain't worth a dime, that's probably why she penny pinching. Nigga, I could die right now, yo bitch gon' treat you like Will Smith. Nigga ain't worried about none of my white boys shoot like Rick Smith. I'm fresh as it gets and your little bitch won't peel me out this Rick fit. God forgive me, know they truly filled with envy, I don't blame you. Halftime show like Usher Raymond. I'm on half of a cup with a watch chaser. I can't even stand these niggas, I wouldn't tell no lie. I'm trying to get high, I'm finna pour this deuce when I get in so far. Recover. Hey, if Dub been made fuck with me.
When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
Yeah, this year, being an Olympic year is really, it's a big year. But I think...
You sent in a proposal, but you're married.
Alright, the ads started pissing me off there. I have too many tabs open. Welcome to Guarantee News. Again, I am your host, Garrett Sims. Let's see. I feel like I gave a great intro in the beginning, so I feel like we should just get right into the show. So this week, to start off Guarantee News this week, and again, I've been saying this for like the last 4 streams. I'm leading up to that consistency where you guys can just know every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. for the next like 4 weeks, Garrett is going to be streaming. So this is me coming in on Monday. Pause. What's the first story that I want to do? I'm just gonna say I'm deciding if I want to start off with the Hunter Biden trial or Trump. We're gonna go with Hunter Biden. So the let's see. Both sides in the Hunter Biden defense rested its case today on Monday, and now the jury has gone back to start deliberating on whether or not they're gonna basically convict Biden. And in short, what's basically happened is they've basically made Biden, or not they, the prosecution has basically made Hunter Biden look like a complete crackhead, a liar, someone who can't be trusted, right? And let me give myself some focus. We're at 7 minutes and 33 seconds with this. I'm going to give myself until like 16 minutes. I don't want to do too long with this. So, yeah, the jury begins deliberations in Hunter Biden's gun trial. So they've had a couple people testify. I think they had his ex-girlfriend testify, his daughter testify. These are Hunter Biden's ex-girlfriend, Hunter Biden's daughter. And this is all basically just having the conversation on what his mental process was or what his thought process was when he bought the gun, and did he lie on that form where it asked him, do you have a drug problem? Now, before I get into kind of what I want to do is just look, like, if you look, this is an Associated Press article. It's kind of just live covering the event. And like, if you look at this little tab on the other side, it has kind of just live updates. So I kind of want to look at that. Before I start doing that, I do want to just say, hold on. Before I start doing that, I do want to just say, give my opinion first. Do I think Joe Biden was on crack when he bought the gun? And do I think that Joe Biden obviously lied when he said, when they asked, do you have a drug problem? Yes, I think he probably most likely was on crack. If I had to bet money on it, FanDuel, yes, I would say he was on crack or not more than 6 months off of crack when he bought the gun. And less than 6 months prior or after buying the gun, I feel like he did crack again. Like, I still think he was still actively on the problem. So do I think he should be convicted? Technically, yes, a fucking course. But what I stand on this not being about justice is I still stand on that. It's the same with the Trump trial. That wasn't about justice either. But the same way that Trump should be convicted, I do believe, if we're going off of things being objective and fair, Hunter Biden should be convicted because he is clearly a crackhead, and he was probably... What? You know what the thing is that's funny about being the youngest? Or maybe it's not being the youngest, but maybe it's just being the youngest in my house. You see me working hard, streaming. I'm not even going to say that. I'm bullshitting. I'm not doing anything that's too difficult. But bro, I'm literally sitting in here trying to stream, and my big ass older brother isn't doing shit in his room right now. And what does my mom do? Come in here As I'm saying this on live, I'm happy no one's watching because I sound like a fucking child. I'm not even going to complain about what I was going to complain about. Let me continue. Do I think Hunter Biden was a crackhead? Obviously. When he bought the gun, yes, I still think he was probably, maybe not actively, but it hadn't been months since he was using. But the thing about it is they have to prove to a jury beyond reasonable doubt that he was using and that he did lie. And from this, it's the same thing with the Trump thing. This seems like it would be hard to do that. I also thought it would be hard beyond a reasonable doubt to prove that Trump, falsified those records and paid the money to, like, I knew he did it, but I thought it would be hard to prove it. It's the same with this, right? So I think, again, the similarities with these cases of just how they're working out, I see that. Another conversation that I think I want to have with this, and this is based off like a TikTok video I posted of my last stream. And if you don't follow me on TikTok, follow me at GS Studios, GSTEWDIOS, stew, like the stew you eat. But and why I have it as that is a story for another day. But I want to ask the question: is once an addict, always an addict, right? Because I asked this question to some of my friends and family, and on the TikTok video that I posted just talking about this, a lot of people basically were like giving me shit, saying I'm an idiot. So they were obviously Trump fans, but me just being me, like I'm still kind of thinking about the side they're on, or how I could maybe be wrong, or how I was maybe not being objective by that clip that I posted. And a lot of people were like saying like once a drug addict is always a drug addict, once a liar you're always like lying. And while I feel like the people who are making those comments were not being fair or honest and are probably not smart, the idea that they're presenting is one that I thought about, which is like, is once a drug dealer always a drug dealer? Like, and I feel like I kind of am leading on that way of like, even if you're not actively using the drug, if you once had a drug problem and you are actively using it a lot, even if you get off that drug, there's always the potential for you to relapse. It's always the potential for a certain set of aspects to come into your life to make you feel like you need to start using that drug again. And I think it's a life battle with addiction. Like even if you haven't been on it in years, you still have to go through that battle to not do it, right? So I think that's kind of that thing that Hunter Biden is being portrayed in, where it's like no one's gonna have trust for you because we know that you were a drug dealer. I mean, we know that you were a crack addict. So you want us to believe that for a couple of months you didn't do crack. So it's hard to believe. It's kind of almost unbelievable. It's just about how good his fucking, what is his name, Abby Loyal, or how, I can't think of his name, but how good his lawyer is. And I want to just take look at a couple of these. Prosecutors say defense attorney's closing arguments are unfair. Hunter Biden's defense attorney finishes closing arguments asking jurors for a not guilty verdict. Defense says there's no evidence that Biden withdrew cash for drugs. Defense says there's no evidence Hunter took gun out of locked box that came in. Defense says prosecutors can't show how drug residue got on a leather pouch. Defense says memoir is irrelevant and Hunter's state of mind when he bought the gun is critical. I kind of want to read this a little bit. Defense attorney Abby Lowell. Oh, let me move so you guys can see this. Defense attorney Abby Lowell began his closing arguments by saying this prosecution has not met its burden of proving its case beyond a reasonable doubt. He focused on the key word knowingly, saying Hunter's state of mind and the time of the gun purchase is critical. The defense has suggested that at the time he bought the gun, Hunter did not consider himself an addict. What he wrote later in his memoir is irrelevant, later suggested. He also tried to discredit Keston's testimony about witnessing Hunter's drug use. He notes that there were no pipe, no scales, no drugs, not even alcohol in photos while she took. Okay, this is just this is just lawyer work. Like, yeah, like there's talking about drug residue. There's a person saying that she saw him doing drugs. Like, this is just gonna be how good Joe Biden's lawyers are trying to make it seem like you can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did drugs. My final thing about what I think is gonna happen with this, probably I do think he's gonna get convicted, because I just think it's so hard to believe that he wasn't using drugs when he had this much of a problem. Anything else that I want to say with this? We're at 14 minutes and 42 seconds. I'm going to leave this there and we're going to continue to cover this. But the only thing, I guess, just to sum up kind of what I've said here is just like the whole conversation of like, once a drug addict, once a drug addict, always a drug addict. I don't think you should always be treated or looked at as a drug addict, but as that person yourself, I think you should always be aware of the fact that you could always relapse and go back into that drug, and respect that, to know that, you know, you always have to be on your P's and Q's of not doing that. You can't let yourself stride too bad, I feel like, or you could fall back into that hole. Hunter Biden, I feel like, as far as the Hunter Biden situation, it looks pretty obvious that he probably was still doing crack. I think it was in 2018 when he bought that gun, and God knows what he was going to do with that gun. As far as like all the Trump fans that are talking, so that were on my TikTok, so fucking angry, bro. And on top of that, like, well, no, I'm just gonna leave it there. Like, you guys are fucking mean. Like, shit. Trump doesn't even like you guys. He doesn't even like you fuckers. He just wants your vote, and you're over here being mean to me about just trying to be objective over some shit. Fuck you guys. And then on top of that, just to prove it, let's move on to my next story, my second story. Trump on Sunday had a rally in Las Vegas, Nevada. It had temperatures over 100 degrees. He said hella shit at the rally. Here's one of the things he said. Let me show you a video. He said a lot of shit, though. We're going to cover this a little bit, but let me show you a video for all the Trump fans. And I will say one thing about Trump fans, bro. You guys love your boy Trump, bro. You guys go to bat for him. But look what he thinks of you, of your dumbasses. Look what he thinks of your dumbasses.
Going on me, we need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care. Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I'm not going to even lie to you. At least he's honest, and I know all of you fucks are still going to vote for him. All right, that was just me being given a little shit. Back to Garrett trying to be objective on Guarantee News. That shit really pissed me off today. Like, I'm a very new streamer, content creator, bro. I don't even know what to call it, but I'm new at it. So, hold on, let me stop fucking up. Even if you watch me and the way I be fucking up, I'm new at it. So today, like on one of my videos, is the first time getting a lot of hate, and I'm trying to like be like, I don't care, but a little bit there came out. I was like, fuck them niggas. Sorry, and I'm trying not to use that language anymore on stream, but look how frustrated they got me. Like, damn. Who knew if you put content out into the world every day, there's going to be people that say you don't deserve a platform and you fucking suck. Like, who knew that would happen? But yeah, so Trump had a rally on Sunday in Nevada, and the thing, and what are we at here? 17 minutes? 27 minutes? Would be 10 minutes? I'm going to give myself 27 minutes, or I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to talk about this. So yesterday, Sunday, June 9th, 2024, Trump, or former President Donald Trump, had a rally in Las Vegas, Nevada. I think it's his second or third since the conviction a couple of weeks ago. And he talked about a couple of different things in that rally. And I'm going to go through this Associated Press article that is written by, we'll go through that, written by Jonathan L. Cooper and Adriana Gomez. And I'm going to give a couple opinions. But first, I'm going to just say something that I wanted to say beforehand, where right after, as soon as the Trump conviction came out, I went on stream live, and one of the main things I said is, I wonder what this is going to do for voters, if there's going to make anybody say Trump is now a convicted felon, I don't want to vote for him. How are voters' feelings going to be now with Trump being a convicted felon? And I can say, Trump is a felon. He lost the case, but in a way it feels like he fucking won. He's Teflon Don. His fans have become more emboldened. They love it, which I talked about, that the people that were Trump fans, whether he was convicted or not convicted, it was going to be, they were going to use it as a positive. But it seems like I've been on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, when you go out and talk to people, when you see the news, it seems like the average American does not give a fuck that now Trump is a convicted felon. It doesn't seem like the fact that he paid Stormy Daniels all this money, like it doesn't seem like no one cares. It's not a big thing. Like, I think that every single person that was gonna vote for Trump is still gonna vote for Trump, and every single person that was on the fence about where they were gonna vote is still on the fence, or if they're leaning some way or not. Trump now being a convicted felon isn't gonna make them not vote for Trump or not like Trump. Partially, I think it's probably because of the circumstances under which he was convicted. And then another thing is just like, the only people that I'm seeing that are really talking shit are Democrats, like, which is obvious. The Democrats are, he's a convicted felon. How can we as a country, can we do this? You know, the narrative that Democrats and the left are going to paint, where it's like, this is disgusting. You can't let a convicted felon be the president of the United States. But that's all good. That's all good and glory. The people, the left, Democrats, liberals, they already didn't like Trump before he got convicted. Now that he's convicted, they still don't like Trump. But the left needed this conviction to get the people on the fence on their side, and I don't think it's doing that. And there's a questionable thing that, or there's an argument to be made that there's maybe even some people that like are so emboldened by him being convicted that they just trust in the country less. I have 7 more minutes on this. With this article, there's just a couple things I want to look at, and then I want to look at another thing. Before I get to some of the quotes in this article, I want to show something else as well. Trump, ever since this happened, again, there was the question about, like I said, this is the theme of what I've been talking about, is like, what's going to happen with Trump after the conviction? How are Americans and voters going to feel about Trump as a person now that he's a convicted felon? And if you have any question about it, a part of it can be seen in the amount of fucking money his campaign has got off of fucking donations since the conviction. Trump's crimes pay off as campaign donations roll in. This is a Bloomberg article, so don't think I'm just bullshitting. We all trust Bloomberg. Bro, let me just read this. Okay. So 34 billion, blah, 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 blah. We're just trying to get to the good stuff. And let me go in a little bit so you guys can see this. I want you guys to be able to see what's going on. And I'm going to skim through this and only give some important parts, because what's going on in this is even less important than what I'm trying to talk about in the Associated Press article. So let's move with some pace. The Trump campaign says it raised a staggering $141 million in the days after the verdict, presumably from supporters outraged over what the former president insists is a political hit job. On Wednesday, the New York Times reported that the major Trump-aligned super PAC, Make America Great Again Incorporated, raised $70 million in May, a total no doubt boosted by the criminal trial verdict. So this was $70 million in May, which was raised during the trial, and they raised $141 million in the days after the trial. 100 million in the days after the trial versus 70 million in May. So think about what this did to put a battery in the back of all of the Trump fans, the Trump supporters, the Trump diehards, and maybe the people who are like kind of on the fence, that I think they now could, there's some of them now that him being convicted actually helped Trump. Is there anything else with this I want to look? It's just that 140 million is so much. He's previously used his legal trials as a opponent fundraising tool. Yeah, is there anything else in there I want? Which should have been a moment of political blah, 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 and personal embarrassment instead turned into an opportunity. In the days after his arrest, Trump's campaign claimed to have raised more than $7 million. We know from subsequent federal election committee filings that his campaign did get a boost. Posting was at the time its best fundraising quarter to date. So this article, and let me just keep reading in brief. The European Central Bank, hold on. Oh, this is nothing. There are downsides, of course. Being a 34-time convicted felon isn't going to help Trump win swing voters no matter what his surrogates claim. But it's supercharged his campaign fundraising, which ain't nothing. Who says crime doesn't pay? You know, and this is a good place to end it, but I think another thing that's interesting with this is that, like, there are downsides. Being a 34 convicted felon isn't going to help Trump swing voters. I don't know. I don't agree with that. No matter what his surrogates came. I'm not a Trump fan. Like I said just like 5 minutes ago, I got talked about for not being a Trump fan. But I do think just from like getting the gauge of everything, swing voters, I don't think that this made them want to vote for Biden. Like definitely that. And I don't think it made them say, I'm definitely not voting for Trump. And again, I think it might be the circumstances under which he was convicted, like paying off a porn star is something that, like, I don't think it's going to make so many people, as crazy as it sounds, disgusted, because I feel like most people would be like, yeah, I would do the same. Like, it's not like something like there's worse things that I feel like that if he would be on trial, and I this is crazy for me to say, I know, but there's worse things, or there's things that he could be on trial for where I think the general public in today's world would be more mad about. Let me get through a couple, and then in these last 3 minutes, I want to just read a couple just of cool paragraphs with this. So he had, so back to this Trump. Well, she had the rally in Las Vegas, and he said a couple of things. One of them, and I guess I don't even need to get to this article right away right now. One of them being that he said for people that need tips, for servers and all that, he's going to take the taxes off your tips. Let me go and find that clip for you. I don't even need to say anything. I'll just show the clip. And this is a clip before I even show it that this is Trump campaigning, right? This is him kind of saying some things that may be true, that may not be true, to obviously get people to, to obviously get people to vote for him, to probably get those swing voters. Again, we're in the moment with now where we're trying to get swing voters, or I'm saying we are. Trump and Biden, the whole country, everyone, whoever you're voting for, they're trying to get voters right now. So they're going to be saying some bullshit that could be true, that just won't happen, or some shit that could happen. And this is what Trump said at his Nevada rally, amongst a whole bunch of things. But this is what he said. He also said he doesn't care about you. He cares about your vote. I played that. This is also what he said at the rally. Breaking. Trump's plan to eliminate taxes on tips for restaurant and hospitality workers will influence over 12 million Americans, the majority of which are in larger cities. I predict a few million voters are switching to Trump because of this one statement. Genius. And this is from some dude named George Behizzi tweets. I think there's a lot of people who are going to believe this and think that Trump is going to be able to get this done. So I don't think this is a stupid idea as far as campaigning.
This is the first time I've said this. And for those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy. Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips. We're not going to do it. And we're going to do that right away, first thing in office, because it's been a point of contention for years and years and years. And you do a great job of service. You take care of people. And I think it's going to be something that really is deserved. More importantly, popular or unpopular. I do some unpopular things, too, if it's right for the country. I do what's right. But so those people that have jobs in restaurants, whatever the job may be, a tipping job, we're not going after for taxes anymore. This will be ended. And I announced that for the first time I've brought it up. First time anyone's brought it up. I think it's never been brought up before. And I also think it's very appropriate.
So, hella people now that are on the swing that don't know if they want to vote for Trump now are going to be leaning towards voting for Trump. Young people. The tweet that I just showed you guys said what? I think over 12 million Americans, he said. Yeah, over 12 million Americans are going to be affected by this. So this is, even after watching it, it's genius because there's going to be a lot of people that think he's going to get this done and that thinks this can happen. Now, because in the sense of objectivity, just strictly, I told you guys I have this article, this Associated Press article by Jonathan L. Cooper, Adriana Gomez. Spoiler alert, I'm doing this a little bit different. Instead of going through it, I'm just going to find the pieces that I think you guys need. Last fucking quote of the article, or last fucking graph. Trump's campaign and reads, let's see. Trump's campaign announced a renewed push for Hispanic voters ahead of the event with a Latino Americans for Trump coalition. Four of the speakers who warmed up the crowd before Trump took the stage were Hispanic immigrants. I'm not going to talk about that. I have to read a little bit better. Let's see. In a play for Nevada's massive service sector workforce, Trump said he'd seek to eliminate taxes on tip, a major source of income for food servers, bartenders, and other low-power, glitzy Las Vegas hotels. The Culinary Union Secretary-Treasurer Ted Papageorge criticized Trump for making that promise, a measure he said the union has fought for decades. Relief is definitely needed for tip owners, but Nevada workers are smart enough to know the difference between real solutions and wild campaign promises from a convicted felon, he said in a wild state. Wild campaign promises from a convicted felon. And this is like the other side of that, where you hear Trump saying that he's going to take away the tips, and then you hear in the video a whole bunch of people cheering for him. This is Associated Press article, and this is the Culinary Union Secretary-Treasurer, Ted Papageorge. Let's look up what he looks like. I like to always put a face with a name. What is his name? Ted? Was his name Ted Papageorge? Yeah, Ted Papageorge. This guy. Let's look at him. Oh, shit. Let's look at him. This guy is Ted Papageorge. He is the Culinary Union Secretary-Treasurer. Culinary Union Secretary-Treasurer. And another thing that's interesting with that, and hold on, let me just make sure you guys see what my dude looks like. He looks like he'll fight for our rights, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I always do. You can't judge a book off its cover, and I always do it regardless on this show. So don't think what I'm saying is true. But I feel like he'd fight for my rights. I feel like he's fighting for something. You know what I'm saying? He looks like a nice guy, and he looks like I'm trusting him. Let's focus. It's 30 minutes. I'm 3 minutes off where I wanted to, so I need to wrap up with this. But yeah, the big thing that he said for this with me is that he was taking away the tips for service workers, and then you have this culinary union secretary. He says that this is a measure we have been working on. We fought it for decades, and this is definitely needed for tip owners, but Nevada workers are smart enough to know the difference between real solutions and wild campaign promises from a convicted felon. And that's the thing that I'm questioning, is that if Americans, and he says this is Nevada workers, for the sake of guaranteed news, I'm going to leave you guys with this. This guy, Ted Papageorge, is saying that Nevada workers are smart enough to know the difference between real solutions and wild campaign promises from a convicted felon. And I'm saying I do not believe that to be the case. I also don't know how much of Trump's statements you can say are just let me see, are wild campaign promises versus things that he can really do. Taking the tax off tips seems like something that would be very hard to do. I don't see him doing it. It gives me that same kind of feeling where Biden said that he was going to take away all of student loans. But look what happened, though. Biden said he was going to take all away student loans, and people voted for him, and it didn't happen. And a lot of people, these 12 million Americans that are going to be having their ears perked up or affected by the fact that taxes could be taken off of tips, they're going to vote for it. I know some hillbillies that are like, I know hillbilly servers that were like this, that already like Trump. I know black girls that don't give a fuck about politics, but they work in a restaurant that are going to care about this. I know like so many people with this hillbilly, black, white, are going to say, oh, no taxes on tips. Oh, I'm going to rock with that. And that's going to be another reason for them to vote for Trump. And this is the type of shit that Trump does. And he's a genius at it, and he's great at it. And then that Nevada rally, he just did a lot. So yeah. And another thing about it is because this article mentions that, is Nevada is a swing state, and Biden won Nevada in 2020, and Hillary won Biden in 2016, and it's a very important state, which is why Trump was campaigning there. And that's just more for me than for like anybody watching. And I mean, if you're watching Guarantee News, you're probably interested in some of the things I'm interested in. So it's for us. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Nevada just throughout all of this to see what happens. 32 minutes with 2 news stories. I feel like I did a good job. Let's move on. I'm going to do a little intermission. I've never done this on Guarantee News before. I'm gonna do an intermission. No one's watching right now, so I can do a fucking intermission. When people start watching, maybe I won't do intermissions that are this bad. Let's see. I'll be back.
Smoking on that same shit that got Chris Rock. I cocaine with a drum, this bitch sound like Kid Rock. Make these niggas go and copy this, them niggas Xerox. I could move, we still on his ass, we got him gridlocked. One bitch, I ain't picky, fuck me till I'm dizzy. My bitch catch another op, she gon' get some new Rickies. R.I.P. my young boy, that shit still got me pissy. My nephew won't even play my ops, he said it sound too kitty. Bitch want me to fuck with her, but she be acting ditzy. He thought it was clean, I'm still serving cut no kizzy. Full of looking clean as hell, can't forget that blicky. Chop it shoot like Jimmy, I ain't even had no simi. Every beat shit automatic, supercharged like Hemi. Told my little bitch walkie only, she can keep that Henny. Virgo, he got Trump money, gave myself a stimmy. Told my bitch don't want hibachi, she can keep the bennies. Get them chopped like sushi rolls, play them hoes like movie roles. That boy, he got baby money, bankroll like a 2-year-old. This bitch know she fine as hell, came through built like Ruby Rose. 100K times 10, nigga, I'm gon' need a few of those. Partner red, it look like a bottle of some hot sauce. All these sticks, thought that we was finna go to Top Golf. Treat him like a thigh shirt, get that nigga cropped off. He said he gon' touch me, see how ain't shit popped off. LOL, hi, I know folks don't like me. Pussing off these pussy niggas really do excite me. Shawty know I'm rude as hell, but somehow she still like me. She know I ain't pushing, ain't that nigga like me.
Update. The Fever are playing the Connecticut Sun. It's 8 minutes and 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and the Fever are being beat 80-58. Caitlin Clark has 10 points. She's 2 for 5 from 3, 3 from 8 for field goal. Kelsey Mitchell has 9 points. Aaliyah Boston has 10 points and 10 rebounds, a good double-double. That's meaningless, but shout out to Aaliyah Boston. Malaysia Smith has 2 points. We're having a bad game. The Sun are absolutely dominating us. There is no way that the Fever are going to win this game. That is obvious, and this is coming off of Caitlin Clark having her best WNBA game of her career. She played against the worst team in the league. She had the most rest that she's had, and she scored 30 points, but it's still the best game of her career, and now she's scoring 10 points, and this game is coming off of a hectic weekend and a hectic Monday when Caitlin Clark was left off of the 2024 women's basketball team, right? And I have to give myself credit right now because that fucking transition was fucking. I'm good. I'm fucking good. Let's move on and keep going. I just had to say my transition was good. So Caitlin Clark was left off the 12-woman roster for the WNBA Olympics, right? And let me just, all right, because I'm going to rant a little bit with this. So let me just, I can be silent for a second. All right, bro. So, well, yeah, let me see my girl in the Fever, bro. Yeah, I'm not about to show a picture of her in Iowa. We're done with that. Okay, we're not gonna use this picture of her either. Let me see. Let me get a good picture. Let me get something hard for my girl, or for Caitlin, for the dog, for the Don. Okay. So, yeah, Caitlin Clark was left over the WNBAs, or not WNAs, but the America's USA Women's 12-team Olympic roster for this year, right? And there's been hella Caitlin Clark conversations. It's been going on. I've talked about it. Everything's talked about it. I think with this, there's really a couple of things that I can talk about with this. And first off, did Caitlin Clark deserve to be on the team just from a point of skill? We're having the 12 best women come and play on the women's team for this Olympic gold medal. Does she deserve to be on that? No, I do not think Caitlin Clark is one of the 12 best women players. All right? We got that out of the line. So from there, it's not a snub, because a snub, in my definition of what a snub is, and just I've been watching sports shows all day, a snub is when someone who has the skills, who has the qualifications, who should have been met, does not get it or is not met. Isaiah Thomas not being on the dream team was a snub. Yeah, just for example. Now, another conversation with this is, if you're going to say we're going to have the best 12 women on the team, are the 12 best women in the league on the team, like the 12 best women who should be playing, that's who we're having on the team, and Caitlin Clark is not one of those 12, so that's not why we have her. Okay, fair. I can give you that, except you have people on the team that Caitlin Clark's averages are better than. Now it's Diana Taurasi and it's somebody else, but that's still something to be asked. And so let's look at this 12-team roster, and let's look at a couple of things. I'm going to look at the guards because this is positional. I'm not going to take out, because if you're going to say if Caitlin Clark isn't going to be in, who is going to get taken out? So we're going to have to look at the guards. So that's obvious. This is obvious. I didn't think I'd have to say that, but I feel like I had to say that because you never know. So we have Kalia Cooper, Chelsea Gray, Sabrina Ionesco, that's who I feel like everybody knows, though. She knows her. She did the 3-point competition with Steph Curry, almost beat him in this year's NBA All-Star Weekend, right? Kelsey Plum, Joy Lude, Diana Taurasi, right? Where's Caitlin Clark? And this is, I always do this. This is a Sports Illustrated article by Stephen Douglas. Shout out to him. I trust Sports Illustrated. If you don't, I don't know why everybody got the Sports Illustrated magazines as a kid. All right, so that's the team, right? And they asked the question, where's Caitlin Clark? I already touched on this. So she was left off the final roster in favor of more accomplished WNBA players. While Clark handled the decision with class, it has still caused people to lose their minds, as most things involving Caitlin Clark, of course. Despite struggling from the field early in her professional career, she's 14th in the WA in scoring at 16.8 points per game, which is right around where Taurasi and Ionesco are. So she's right around where they are. I think she's higher than Taurasi because I looked at it. I'm not sure what Ionescu is, but let's just look it up. Like Diana Taurasi. Let's just look it up. Diana Taurasi. Let's look up her 2020. I want your 2024 stats. 2024 stats. Come on. She's averaging 16 points, 16.6 points, 4.8 rebounds, 1.6 assists. Let's look at Caitlin Clark. And I think she's doing like 16 something. Why is it's just naturally going back like that? It's messing with like something. Like, I don't know what to call it, but it's messing with something. Caitlin Clark, 16.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, 6.3 assists, way more assists, more steals. Let's look at Sabrina. Sabrina Ionescu. Let's look at hers. Let's look. 17 points, 4.4 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 1.7 steals. So out of Diana Taurasi, Sabrina Ionescu, and Caitlin Clark has the best stats. So if you're going to go over the conversation of, okay, we're going to have the 12 best players that are going to be on this roster for the Women's USA Olympics, right? Caitlin Clark's a rookie. She's not one of the best 12 players. We want to win gold. We want to have the best 12 players. This isn't about publicity. If that's what you're going to say, how do you not have Caitlin Clark on it? Because her stats are the best, right? That's A. B, okay, you're going to have Diana Taurasi because she's a vet. She's one of the greatest, but everybody's heard of her. I never watched a full WNBA game before Caitlin Clark got in the league, but I won't cap. I knew who Diana Taurasi was. If you had shown me a picture of her, I would have known. So because of just kind of that like old head status of respect, maybe she should be on the fucking she should be on the squad, right? Sabrina, I think kind of that same thing. I want Sabrina on there really more than Diana. I think Caitlin should definitely, I would take off Diana to have Caitlin, but that's like my first thing. We're at 41 minutes. I'm only going to go to like 45 minutes. So the conversation about like if we're going to have the 12 best players, like Caitlin Clark's not one of those 12 best players, I don't think that's a fair and honest argument because her stats say differently. Yeah, if you look at the conversation around her, how she's been too physical and everything like that, you would think Caitlin Clark isn't having a good year, and she's not by Caitlin Clark's standards in which you saw at Iowa. But from the stats and looking at the numbers, she's ranked. The Sports Illustrated article even said it. She's 14th. Let me see. She's 14th, and let me take some of these away. She's 14th in scoring, and 14th in scoring, and right around where she is, and she's 24th in rebounding, and she's 4th in assists, 18th in steals. Like those stats for a rookie, for someone of Caitlin Clark's magnitude, you have to put her in, right? So there's that. The second argument that I have is that, and let me go back to this. I feel like this is a good little place to just leave it. The second argument that I have with this, where it's just not like something's not sitting right with me with this, is that the WNBA's commissioner, and I know obviously that the women's team for the Olympics and the WNBA are not connected, but they lead into each other, and the views for one can lead into the other, and the marketing for both. They're separate but together, and if you're making good business together, you should know how to put them together. And the NBA has done that with the Olympics before, and the NBA has done it with its league before. And this is the thing about the WNBA that is making me really confused, is how bad it seems to be as a business organization. Because honestly, I already said that the argument of like the 12 best players I don't agree with, but even if we were going to agree with that argument, fuck the 12 best players. You need the women's Olympic team has won gold the last like 6 times. We're fucking dogs, so we're gonna win. Everyone was saying it today. This is an opinion everyone should be having. I feel like we're gonna win the gold regardless. But you want to also grow basketball, women's basketball, and the league of the WNBA, and grow American women's basketball while we're getting the gold. And you know how you do that? You have to have Caitlin Clark on the stage. It's just a missed opportunity. I get that conversation on Caitlin Clark hasn't had time to work with any of the women on this USA team, and it's a lot about chemistry, and this is a team and how teamwork works together. I get how Caitlin Clark has had a very bad rookie, not bad, but a really just tumultuous rookie year, just with conversations, and how the conversations going on around here could be fucking bad for the team potentially and could be getting into people's head. It can take away from the attention. I get all those conversations, but just the business factor of this, when you're trying to build women's basketball and you're trying to build the brand, when you're trying to build WNBA, Caitlin Clark puts butts in seats. She puts butts in seats for stadiums, and she puts butts in seats in your couch in your living room to sit down and watch a game. And I'm not going to watch. There's just no probably. And it's not even like a thing about being mean. I'm just not going to probably. I mean, you know what? Actually, I was going to say I'm not going to watch an Olympic game. I probably am because I've gotten so much into it. I have become a real Asia Wilson fan, and I want to see her. I like seeing her play, and she's great. She's fun. She's entertaining to watch. But besides the point with that, a lot of people aren't going to watch because Caitlin Clark isn't in it. And she wasn't chosen. And so why I can respect why she wasn't chosen as far as like the team situation, and maybe she wasn't one of the 12 best, and we have her time will come, and in those 4 years some of the people on that team now are going to be retired and out. But if you want to grow basketball, if you want to grow this sport, you need to take the opportunity when you have one of the best players in her rookie year to go and take her on the Olympics. And this is something that I saw on Colin Cowherd on his show today that was really interesting to me. And he was like saying like moments like these don't come around often. Like you don't get the opportunity for the dream job of your lifetime. You don't see the girl where as soon as you see her, you want to marry her and you're like, I have to marry this girl. You don't get the Michael Jordan coming into your league. You don't get the Larry Bird going to the Celtics and Magic Johnson getting drafted to the Lakers at the same fucking back. Like that doesn't happen hella times. So when it happens, you have to be ready for it and you have to knock it out of the park. You have to be prepared and you have to use that preparation to go and get what you want. You want the WNBA and its commissioners and its players and all of the people who are talking about the WNBA for years before this year want it to be talked about in First Take and on my show and on Pat McAfee and on all the shows all the time. They want it to be respected. They want people to watch. But if you want people to watch, you have to go with the business. You have to make people respect the game, but you also have to respect the business. And Caitlin Clark not being in this is not respecting the business. And where I want to leave off with this is something scary going on where the women commentators, and I get this by watching First Take this morning with I want to see their names. First Take today. Okay, let me see. Let me try to find it. Not Monica McNutt. I can't. Let me try to find it. But there's your team to be. And it was like a big segment on First Take today. It's been a big, but like two of the people on First Take, I can't think of their names right now, and I'm sorry to them to not remembering their names. I'm gonna remember because I fuck with both of them. They're both really good, but them, Joy Taylor, like a lot of the women sportscasters that I love are doing this insidious thing right now. It's a little insidious to me, where they refuse to admit some of the unfair treatment by Caitlin Clark and some of the jealousy. Like some of it, a lot of it is people making it a big deal out of things and blowing it out of water. But there also is jealousy, and there also is a mistreatment, and there is a pushback in the league against Caitlin Clark. And it's like a lot of the women sportscasters refuse to admit that it's happening, which is bothering me because it's like, do you guys want to grow the league, or do you guys want to just like, what? I don't know what it is. It's like times like these are where I wish I had like someone doing the show with me to like give me another perspective, but it's just weird to me. Like I think it is a little bit of both. Obviously, I'm leaning more on the side that these bitches got Caitlin Clark fucked up and that they need to realize they have a cash cow. But there is a thing where Caitlin Clark does sometimes. She has a little bit of an attitude. The WNBA is a physical league, and it's been clear to me now that it's been a physical league and that these are things that are happening. So there is like that little bit of Caitlin Clark has been being treated unfairly, but there is a little bit of overreaction and some fucked up things happening from media creating like stories that don't need to be told. But you have to be able to see both sides. Like if you're going to say that the media isn't being a little biased right now, then you're being fucked up. And if you're going to just sit and say that the WNBA isn't handling Caitlin Clark a little weird and that like the treatment of her by the players, the treatment by her by refs, just the things with her has not been smart for the WNBA trying to grow itself. You're also not being unfair. And when I watch First Take, when I watch Speak with Joy Taylor, when I watch all of these shows where these women commentators who are great, who I'm entertained by, who I watch their playing shows as well. But with this specific conversation, I feel like they're not being honest and they're not being fair. And I think it's scary and it somewhat bothers me. And I just don't agree with it. But honestly, to finish off with like the Caitlin Clark conversation of, do I think she should have been left off of the team? It just depends on what you want to do. If you're going to say, yeah, we want to have the 12 best players and, these women have been, the women on this team, a lot of them have played together for a long time. They know each other. Diana Taurasi's a legend. Sabrina's a legend. You have like legend on this team and you don't want to make anybody mad and you want to keep it cool and keep it fun as far as like the WNBA, purists, then yeah, leave her out. You want to grow the business of the WNBA. You want more money. You want more fans. You want more people watching the American team. You put Caitlin Clark on the team. So I could see both sides. This one doesn't have me as mad as some other things did because I can see why she's left off. But just from a business perspective, you shouldn't leave her off. Like if you're a business person and you're running the WNBA, you'd have to put her on that team if you want your league to make more money. Now you have to wait 4 years before people can buy the Caitlin Clark USA women's jerseys. It's just this money. Signing autographs, just the pictures, just 4 more years before you get that. So media-wise, marketing-wise, I think it was a stupid idea, but I could see from like a purely WNBA basketball purist standpoint where you leave her out. And to end off of this, I want to play the video of Caitlin Clark reacting to this because every time I see a video of Caitlin Clark, I'm impressed with how much she seems to have that dog mentality and how it seems how she can be fazed by so much, but nothing phases her. And I'm going to also show just like a little thing. So and I'm going to start doing this too. Let me turn this off. Bear with me for a little bit. So there is a statement released. Look at that. Like, oh my God. And this tweet I'm about to show you kind of gets into like the jealousy and the conversation that I feel like you cannot try to run away from with this conversation. And when I see people like Mona McNutt and a lot of like the women and Joy Taylor's like saying like there's not a lot of bias or there's not a lot of hating going on, like it makes me think you guys aren't trying to have an honest conversation, which is weird because they usually seem to like be the ones wanting to have the more honest conversations. But let me stop yapping. So 2 other Team USA veterans were concerned about how Caitlin Clark's millions of fans would react to her likely limited playing time on a stacked Olympic roster. And even you saying it's stacked kind of lets me know that it's not the 12. You could have taken some people out and still feel like you were going to win because you guys had a lot of talent. The scoring champ, I can't think of her name. She wasn't chosen. So it's like, that's neither here nor there. Team USA veterans were concerned about how Caitlin Clark's millions of fans would react to her likely limited playing time on a stacked Olympic roster. 2 sources, both longtime USA basketball veterans with decades of experience in the women's game, told USA Today Sports, do we trust USA Today Sports? I do. Told USA Today Sports Friday that concern over Caitlin Clark's millions of fans would react to what would likely be limited playing time on a stacked roster was a factor in the decision making. If true, that would be an extraordinary admission of the tension that this multi-million-dollar sensation who signs autographs for dozens of children before and after every game has caused for the old guard of women's basketball, these old hating ass hoes. The 2 people spoke on condition of anonymity because they're hating ass hoes and insensitive and they don't want to stand on business. I kind of got frustrated reading that again. My bad, y'all. It's not that deep, but it is like they're hating, bro. And it's like, why are players speaking on don't the coaches make the decision on who gets it? Why are the players speaking on who gets in? It's the same way how Michael Jordan obviously didn't want Isaiah Thomas in the... Bro, he's like the same way Michael Jordan obviously didn't want Isaiah Thomas in the fucking dream team, and he's the cash cow. They didn't put him in. The NBA listened to their star. Y'all, the WNBA is listening to Diana Taurasi. It's probably Diana Taurasi and some other hanos who said this. The WNBA is listening. Let me make the screen bigger so y'all can see my face. They're listening to Diana Taurasi about what they need to be doing about business. Let me play what Caitlin Clark's, and then I'll get out for this matter. Let me play what Caitlin Clark said, and then I'll get off of this matter, bro. Let me see what Caitlin Clark said, and I'll get off of this. Did I fuck something up? Wait. My bad. Hey, I'm new to streaming. I'll be fucking up. Let me see what Caitlin Clark says, and I'll get off of this shit, bro. Like, come on, bro. That shit. This is Caitlin Clark's response to not being on the team. As always, it's fucking perfect. It's fucking perfection. Let me find it. And this is from Jamel Hill. If you don't know who Jamel Hill, another sports commentator that I love, got kicked off of ESPN for being awesome. So shout out to her. I do like her a lot. If I can get this to go, bear with me, y'all. My bad. All right. So, perfect answers, and I have no doubt that Caitlin Clark is being genuine, and you can tell she is. She's a dog, and she doesn't care about this shit. She wants to hoop. In 2028, when the Olympics are in Los Angeles, I fully expect her to be on the roster. To quote Asia Wilson, delayed is not denied, but think about this again. The next Olympics won't be until 2028, and that's 4 years of money missed on jersey sales for the USA Caitlin Clark 22 Olympic jersey, for the memorabilia, for the t-shirts, for the views, all that money that you're not going to make for 4 years, again, to that point where these things only come up once in a lifetime. Who knows if we even have a world in 4 years? The WNBA in women's basketball, just time after time with Caitlin Clark, is just missing the boat as far as making money and building the brand of women's basketball. But let's look at this.
Caitlin, what was your reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for.
She's a dog, no disappointment, nothing working. She seems super excited, and she texted her coach Christy's side saying that they are working up a beast, which I believe. She did score 10 points tonight, and this is just on the side of objectivity. You know, Garrett's Guaranteed News, I try to be objective. She did score 10 points tonight, and I did see a tweet that was very funny that said you lost 2 national championships, and that didn't awaken a beast in you. Different situation, but still a funny tweet, but continue on.
That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whoever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break, from Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess?
Absolutely. It's going to be really nice. I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to, first of all, get rest and get healthy and just get a little time away from basketball and the craziness of everything that's been going on, and, just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
Work. My main focus is on getting better. Thank you. I'm going to take this time to get better, get stronger. Work. She's going to dog. It's everything with everything. The thing about the Caitlin Clark situation, with every situation that's been going on with Caitlin Clark, with the hit from the Sky person, with how well she's been doing, with how the jealousy is, and now with her being left off the team, one thing that has been consistent, Caitlin Clark never looks like she never looks broken. She never looks like she's not ready for the moment. She always says the right thing, the perfect thing. She always looks confident. She never looks angry. She never, as far as to the fans, to the media, to the questions, to the situations on the court, it's a different situation. You definitely see her personality come out, and she has a little bit of a good attitude in my opinion, but that's a different conversation for another day. But as far as just the fans, as far as dealing with anything, I don't know how you could think of her as anything other than a class act. And regardless of how you feel about how she's being treated in the league, how the WNBA as an organization is treating her, and how the players in the WNBA are treating her, and how she plays and how she deals on the court, I don't think anyone can question her work ethic, her mindset, and the fact that she is a class act and an absolute fucking beast. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. I do not agree with her being left off of this team, but I can see why, and I do think that she is going to use it as motivation, and I do think we will see a difference in the play of Caitlin Clark following the Olympics with that month break. All right, Dan Hurley. Let's do our next story. Dan Hurley. So the not former. I was thinking he was going to take it. The coach of the UConn Huskies, the college basketball team, we all know it. They've won back-to-back national championships, right? Their basketball coach, Dan Hurley, was offered a job to the Los Angeles Lakers to be their new coach. You're probably wondering, weren't they wanting JJ Redick to be their new coach? Yes, that's what everyone was saying, and they were saying that the JJ Redick and LeBron podcast was only a thing, so JJ Redick could have a nice little way to just show that he knows his X's and O's. So that wasn't obviously not the case. There was a statement released, I think, by Schefter. Not Adam Schefter. Probably Woj. I'm tripping Schefter. Probably Woj, saying that the Lakers are offering Dan Hurley a deal. I think they offered him. They offered him $70 million for 4 years, and Dan Hurley turned it down. And the only thing, I'm gonna do this quick. $70 million for 4 years, I believe it was, it's 6 years, $70 million. That doesn't make him even a doesn't even make him a top 4 paid coach in the NBA. So that's number one. Why would he take that deal? Because you're not even going to pay me. I'm not even going to be a top five paid coach. Not worth it. Number two, the drama in LA. It's too much. LeBron's going to be leaving. You're going to have Bronny. There's going to be too many people judging you. 3, the job security in the NBA is not worth it. I feel like every year the NBA, bro, you make it to the playoffs, you get fired. You make it to the you make it to the NBA finals, you get fired. Like, the job security in the NBA, it's fucking nothing. You can have good seasons and just the conversation around you or just certain things when you still get fired, so it's not worth it. 4th, you have Dan Hurley, who has built a culture. Everybody in Connecticut listens to him. He's probably treated like the mayor there. He probably loves his team. He probably loves the comfort, and I don't even want to say loves the comfort. That's bullshit, because he seems like the type that goes to being uncomfortable. But he's going to be uncomfortable trying to go for and get the three-peat for a national championship. He's going to make history. So, I mean, it's just a lot of reasons why I think the Lakers' job wasn't the best, and I think he made a great decision, and he was loyal, and he stick to his guts, and he stick to something that he believed in, and he made a decision that isn't for money and for glitz and glam and to be in LA and the NBA, and I think in today's world, nobody does that. You never see, or you very rarely see that, so you got to respect Dan Hurley. You got to respect the personality, that little insaneness that it seems like he has, and shout out to UConn. I think they're going to do great next year. Did you guys hear that? I just did a Dan Orlovsky, bro. I just did a Dan Orlovsky. If you guys heard that, I'm going to post that. That was crazy. But that's the only thing I want to say with that is I do not think it was a bad idea for him to turn down that deal. And I think it's going to go to JJ Redick now, but it's going to be fucked up because now everybody knows JJ Redick, including JJ Redick. He was your second pick. And is JJ Redick going to take that $70 million 6 years deal? I wonder what he makes now to call the playoffs. Call the NBA Finals. I'm not gonna look it up, but I just wonder that. But I definitely agree with him with that. What else do I want to talk about? Bro, this is just honestly, this is gonna want to end the stream on. This is like a TikTok. This is entertainment, bro. This is TikTok news, bro. TikTok news with Garrett Sims, bro. I've never done this before. Bro, I post all my clips to TikTok, so I really should have been doing this. But I'm just gonna like go through like some TikTok news. Like, I'll scroll on TikTok all day. Like, and I know about the TikTok drama. I know about Fanita. I know about nobody fucking with Fanita. I know we don't fuck with Fanita anymore and the Machiavelli thing. I know about the Kai Cenat streams and, like, you know, but we're just friends. Like the Kevin Hart, I don't even know that Kevin Hart even making fun of him. Like, I'm TikTok. I know TikTok. Like, Guarantee News, I'll be trying to talk about real news. I'll be trying to be like a serious real news show. You know, I'm down with the kids. I know the TikTok news, so I'm about to start talking about like TikTok news because it is entertaining, but it's just so much opinionated in it. So before I even get to it, I want to just say I have no article to read for this. I do, but it's like whatever article I read is going to be opinionated. I have no facts or stats or anything. This is just literally a 24-year-old young man, whatever you want to say, a grown-ass man. But this is just a 24-year-old in his room at his parents' house giving his opinion that nobody asked for on bullshit. You're probably going to, if you're seeing this 5 posters clip, going to give me your opinion about asking for as well. That's just life, bro. But popular streamer Ty Lil basically had Tyreek from Power on his stream. I think it was last night, and Ty Lil's little sister basically groped him. And it's like this big thing where like Ty Lil, you can tell, and I'm about to I'm gonna show the video and everything, but you can tell Ty Lil, he has like I think like 8 brothers and sisters. He has a big family. He be doing what I do, what I'm doing. Like he's streaming just in his, you could tell he's streaming in the crib. The way that he streams is completely different because his is more very entertaining, lit, more form. He's having famous people now because he knows Kai Cenat. So we had this dude from Power on, and his stream is the usual from what I've seen of the clips. It's a lot going on, a lot of people in and out. That's the fun of the stream. His sisters and his family is there, and now he has this guy from Power there. And it appears that his little sister, fanned out, and she sexually assaulted Michael Rainey Jr., I believe his name, the guy that plays Tyreek on Power. We all know who he is. And when you see the video, it's obvious. Now, I'm about to show you. I guess now I should do, like, what's it called? Trigger warning, yeah. Trigger warning, I guess. Sexual assault. This is no joke. Sexual assault is never a joke. So trigger warning for the video I'm about to show. And let me turn the computer screen back on. Now, before I show this, because when I first saw this video, I couldn't tell. Look up here. It's not these little kids. And I'm like when you like, and I think people, when they first see the video, like his sister sexually assaults actor, and dude, you just watch the video. Like when I first saw it, I just couldn't look at the thing of everything. So just keep in mind, like look at her. This is the person you need to look at. But let's watch the video. And let me make my camera bigger because this is fried. Actually, I do want y'all to see this. Let me just move out of the, or wait, hold on. All right, that's best. That's best. Right? Yeah, it's best.
More than $1 million. Y'all have never worked. Y'all never did nothing. Y'all literally have.
Look.
Everybody in here has worked. The job has more than $1 million.
Look at her hand. Right there. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at her hand. No one's paying attention. This is Tylo. This is the Tylo guy. So this is his stream. No one's watching. Dude, it's.
Y'all literally have 5 minutes of max in here.
He's trying to like ignore it, bro. He don't know what's going on, bro. He's like, hold on.
I've never worked. I've never did nothing. Y'all literally have.
Hey, look how she's talking to. Nah, that's nasty work, bro.
Everybody in here has worked. The job has more than $1 million. Y'all have never worked. Y'all never did nothing. Y'all literally have 5 minutes of max in here. Then y'all gotta get out, okay?
5 minutes? You know how much 5 minutes is?
Okay.
Yeah.
No one saw it, first of all, too. So just play by play. She just comes and does like the face, and she says something to him. I think I hear what she said in his face. He's trying to keep it cool. He's like, "What are you on? Are you tweaking?" Like he's kind of like, "Oh, like what the fuck?" Nobody peeps. Look at him looking right now, though. Bro's about to come in.
Yeah. They've never worked. You gotta think. They've never worked a job, but they go play with us.
No one notices.
Yo, anybody need water? Anybody need water? No, we good, bro. Paper towels for them. Shut the fuck up.
And he knows. He's like, what happened?
Word of my mother, I'm trying to literally.
And I'm glad I say this video. This is what he says afterwards. And you can tell, I will say before I show this obviously it's in the moment, right? He hasn't had no time to look back and look at the video and how crazy it is. This is his sister. And keep in mind, this is Tylo, right? And his sister's the one that's did it. So keep all that in mind. This is right in the moment. He has no time he hasn't seen the video. He has no time to digest. He has no time. Like, I get that. And when something like that happens, you're going to go with the family Always, first off. So obviously, if you've never watched no type of stream or no shit like that, I mean, it's 2024. Everybody's watching stream. The chat like is gonna tell you what's going on. So like, chat right here. So even though he didn't see it, I didn't watch the stream live. I never watched that shit. Not shit. My bad. I never watched like none of those streams live. I just watched the clips or I watched the YouTube afterwards. But I'm sure as soon as it happened, the chat was telling him what was going on. So he knows. So now he's speaking on it. And all I'm saying is I do want to give some graces to where like in the moment before you see the video, you are going to stick up for your family and try to play it. But what he says right here, looking at the video, is crazy. And let's just go back just the beginning of the video because I want y'all to see this again. She's groping my nigga. Look at that, bro. Like the hand, bro. And she comes into the thing bolden. Look at his face. The face of median changes. A, she's bold about it. B, you don't know you on live. If you're going to be weird and be like on some shit like that, you're not going to do it off the camera. She's fried for that, doing it on camera. I don't know if it's maybe like she's young and just like a generational thing where it's like they so used to being on camera where it don't even faze them no more. But that's wild for her to do it on camera. A, but like look at the shit. Look at that. Like she's standing on business about it. This is like, what is this? This is like 5 seconds. This is 3 seconds. 5 seconds. 6 seconds. 7 seconds. 9 seconds. 12 seconds. Cuz just got sexually assaulted for 12 seconds straight. That's a long time to just be being touched without you wanting it. That's a long time. That 12 seconds felt like, but she was like moving it, bro. Like, yeah, that's fried. Now this is like, so they left, and this is like, bro, after, and like, not when something like that happens, he should have. I will say he should have cut the stream off because you gotta clear your mind before you speak of some shit like that. And I'm somebody speaking like I know I've never even experienced no type of shit like that where it's like I probably be me. I probably would just talk without like first getting all the facts and clearing my head and then speaking, which he did do. I'm gonna show. He said an apology video because that's obviously what he did. He took some time to himself, got all the facts, and cleared his head. But right here, he just spoke off the cuff just with his sister and just going off what the chat said. And I can't see why he did that, but it was the wrong decision, definitely. But it's just, it's a young decision in a young streamer's career. I feel like I probably will make, hopefully not like that, but I'll definitely make mistakes where I hope somebody will say, like, this is just a young streamer in the beginning of his career. I mean, you could probably already say that for videos I have, so you could probably find something and say that. So definitely am giving him that kind of little bit of grace to him. His sister, though, I can't give her no grace. She's fried at that. That's just out of pocket. No grace can be given for that, but let's see what he says.
My mother, I'm trying to literally ignore this shit, but I'm getting texts, the energy shit, and niggas just got up and left. Like, all that shit really made me, like, all those side of that shit really made me feel away. Because one, when people come, this is your crib. It's about hospitality. That means everything. Stop telling me to ignore it, because when I was trying to ignore it, y'all dick riders.
His sentiment kind of halfway makes sense, but it's just like your sister sexually assaulted. So like a whole thing about famous people and treating them like they're normal people, and this is your house and all that, and you're bringing people into your house. Like I could get that, but it's like all that's out the window when you got people sexually assaulting people. But I
was spamming it. That shit really got me really feeling away because, bro, I be around celebrities all day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, even when I first started being my first few celebrities, don't get me wrong, I do unusual shit. No homo, like nothing crazy. Like I'll be like, yo, like I be trying to record, get a video, a picture, whatever. But due time, you feel what I'm saying? That shit don't really mean nothing. We all equal, we all the same. But she never seen somebody that caliber, so she start. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my sister, so like I'm not gonna say nothing bad about her. I'm gonna just check and tell her like, you don't gotta.
I'm telling you, he don't.
If he's here for.
I'm telling you, he don't know what he don't know. He know what happened, but he don't know the extent of it yet. Cause he's like, I'm telling you, my sister ain't never been around no famous people. Blah 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 blah. You don't see unless and just like I'm gonna read it afterwards, but you don't see that video and like try to cop the plea if she not used to be like maybe you like are like trying to talk to him, ask questions, or you're just being annoying from like a conversation. But she we just counted it out ourselves. She groped my nigga for 12 seconds straight. That's more than being a fan. That's being. I'm not gonna call her that, but this is what I'm thinking about calling her. But like, come on, nigga, 12 seconds of sexual assault is a long time. It's a long 12 seconds. You can't just leave it up to she's never been around famous people before. I'm sorry.
For me, he's here for you. Family Sunday dinner shit every Sunday. You feel what I'm saying? I got people telling me you gotta be aware who you have around when these type of people come. Why should I?
Because if you're not aware about who's going to be around when you bring them around, they're going to sexually assault people. They're going to say things that are going to make people feel uncomfortable. They're going to do things that are going to make people gonna feel uncomfortable. They're going to stop your back.
We all equal. You feel what I'm saying?
It's not about being equal. It's about stopping the bag. It's about the marketing. It's about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to, the brand that you're trying to create. And not everybody, even the people you love, can be around that brand. That's just rule number one. No, that's not rule number one, but that's like chapter number 2, chapter number 3. That's not even halfway through the book of just shit like that. But I get what he's saying, where his family, I get it. I get kind of where he's coming from. Him, sister, no pleas to be caught for her, but I get it.
It's gonna be, we all got a mutual agreement, and it's about respect. Shit got me dumb mad, bro. Like, nothing ever got me more mad than this, bro.
Because she met you. I mean, you can't be mad at nobody but your sister and maybe yourself for not knowing your sister. I mean, if you know, I know my brother. Before I was gonna say I know my brother, I would know not to bring him, or I would know who to bring around and who not to bring around to crash out. Probably wouldn't crash out around nobody. He wouldn't do no shit like that around nobody, to be honest. I mean, he'd probably be more worried about me potentially crashing out around somebody. But I think he would I wouldn't do no shit like that. But I don't think he would trust me enough to not like be annoying. But like, I guess you got to know your family enough to know what you can and can't do them with. And I do know my brother enough to know certain situations where I just wouldn't put him in because I know how he's going to react. And it would be negative. Yeah, if you got a young sister and she's been watching, if you have a young sister and she's been watching Power since it was Power, and that little nigga was like 3 years old when we started watching Power, and she loves Power, and she has that nigga, and all he talks about, and she's walking around saying this is a big rich town, you probably should have known. Probably should have known she shouldn't be there. That's probably the reason why you had her on the stream, but you should have known your sister and known that she wouldn't be able to handle that. That should be the reason to not have her on the stream. And then he released this statement today, and I woke up like this morning, like I did my run, I did my prayer, I did my coffee, and then I do a little bit of Bible reading, and then I do a little bit of TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, a little social media. I get up, I run, blah, 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 and then I do my TikTok right before work. And this was all over my TikTok, so he made this statement today because he had to. It was on everybody's view page when we woke up this morning. After the actions that occurred during my stream last night, I would like to sincerely apologize to Michael and his family for what took place. My little sister was completely wrong and out of line. What she did was very inappropriate and unacceptable. I am truly embarrassed and disgusted by her actions. I completely respect whatever direction Michael wants to go in this situation. After watching the clip, I was completely taken aback by what she'd done. I will take extreme precautions with future streams to avoid similar issues, and I've banned her from participating in future streams. I do not condone any type of assault. You gotta release a statement like that after your sister gropes Michael Rainey Jr. for 12 seconds on a live stream in front of hella people. 12 seconds on a live stream. My bad, Pac. That is just such a dumb idea. Dumb idea. All right, man. That is it for Guaranteed News on a Monday. I think that was a good stream. If you watch a second, a minute, an hour, the whole thing, I thank you. I appreciate you. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Please follow me at Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at GS Studios. That